You've been a special education teacher. I think you're entering your 19th year, but you also are considered higher risk for contracting
Yes.
the coronavirus since you have asthma. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tell us how you feel about going back to school or the
My
students.
son's a physician, and I will say radiologist at Stanford. And so every time there were rumors and myths, I just called him and said, "What are you hearing there?" And he never once, not once, said, "Please don't go back." He knows how much I love my special education students, how much they need those special resources like your speech, my other colleagues provide. The instruction was extremely difficult for my students. A lot wouldn't come to the Zoom meetings. It's just so different. But what I was going to say is I typed the protocols from Springdale Public Schools, and I'm very comfortable with them. They've gone beyond the call of duty. I gave that to my allergist, emailed it to my son, and both of them gave me, with precautions, the ability to go back. And I want to be there for my students and help them navigate through this and make them comfortable to come back safely.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, thank you. Dr. Melanie McGraw-Piasecki from Charlotte, North Carolina, a neonatologist, but also a mom of 3 who I think has been home with the kids, helping them navigate the online world of learning. Could you tell us, both a mom of 3 who's been home with them, but also through your medical experience, how can we learn to safely and quickly return to school?
Sure. My children, I would say, did not have a great experience in the spring, particularly my youngest, who was in first grade at the time. I think the online learning for the young ones, it just doesn't work. And my school, it's a private independent school, recognized that. And when they go back next week, they're sending the little ones back every day, which I think is great. The middle and upper school ones will be back in a hybrid way every other day. And they've incorporated some choice too. So if parents are not comfortable, they're able to do a full online experience. But we're definitely going back as much as they'll let us. In terms of being a pediatrician, I just think the science is so clear that the risk of death or hospitalization for children with this virus is so, so low. But we know the risk of missing school are catastrophic. We probably don't even know how high they are yet, and they cover so many different areas. So I feel like, Mr. President, thank you for your leadership on trying to get students back in school safely. So appreciate it.
And the concept of every other day seems a little ridiculous, right? If you're going to do it, you do it. If you're not going to do it, the concept of going back, even from a management standpoint from the school, every other day seems very strange.
I think the idea is they're going to take half the student body on A days and half the student body on B days. And so
Excuse me? But there was an actual shooting, and somebody's been taken to the hospital. I don't know the condition of the person. It seems that the person was shot by Secret Service. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, did you have something? Go ahead. No, there are no details. We just found out just now. It was outside of the White House, this area right over here, and they'll have details for you in a little while. Somebody is taken to the hospital. It seems that the shooting was done by law enforcement at that person, at the suspect. It was the suspect who was shot, and this just took place. A couple of people outside. I noticed a man named John Roberts, who you know very well. He reported that he heard shots. He was outside and he heard 2 shots. We don't know yet. We don't know. They're going to find out.
Do you know if the individual said anything, sir, mentioned
We don't
your
know that
name,
yet,
anything
no.
like that? And
We
you
don't
can
know that
confirm
yet.
It was the Secret Service that did shoot this
It
suspect?
seems to be, yeah.
It seems to
It
be.
seems
Where were you taken, Mr. President? Were you taken to the bunker?
No, we're taking just out over to the Oval Office.
What did the Secret Service tell you while you were outside of the room?
Just told me when he came up, you pretty much saw it like I did. He said, "Sir, could you please come with me?" So you were surprised. I was surprised also. I think it's probably pretty unusual, but very, very professional people. They do a fantastic job, as you know. So it seems to me, it seems to be from what I was said, there was a shooting. It was law enforcement shot someone, seems to be the suspect, and the suspect is now on the way to the hospital. I can't tell you the condition of the suspect. There was nobody else injured. There was no other law enforcement injured. And I just want to, we'll get on to the press conference, but I do want to thank Secret Service. They are fantastic. The job they do, from what I understand, the answer is yes.
He was armed, Mr. President?
That's what I understand. I don't know. You'll have to ask them.
With what type of weapon?
I don't know that, no.
Was it a male or a female
I
suspect?
don't know. You'll have to get, they'll have a detailed, maybe a briefing for you outside later.
Anything against you personally, Mr.
I don't know. I didn't ask that question. It might not have had anything to do with me. It might have been something else, but it was on the outside of the premises. The wall, as you know, the fencing, especially the new fencing that they put up, is very powerful. But it was on the outside of the White House. Okay, and they'll have a full report. Secret Service in a little while will have a full report.
Are you rattled by this at all, Mr. President?
I don't know. Do I seem rattled? It's unfortunate that this is a world, but the world's always been a dangerous place. It's not something that's unique. The world has been, you look back over the centuries, the world has been a dangerous place, very dangerous place, and it will continue, I guess, for a period of time.
Does this make you think differently about your personal safety inside the White House?
No, I feel very safe with Secret Service. They're fantastic people. They're the best of the best, and they're highly trained. I don't know if anybody got to walk outside, but there were a lot of terrific-looking people ready to go if something was necessary. People at the highest level of law enforcement. There's nobody like these people. So they just wanted me to step aside for a little while just to make sure that everything was cleared outside, because it was right in this area. So
Why did you come back, Mr. President? Why did you decide after that? Because obviously it created a lot of commotion. What made you decide to come back and continue the briefing?
well, I didn't even think about not coming back. I said, am I able to go back? And they said, you'd have to wait a little while. I waited a little while, as you know, in the Oval Office area. And I said, can I get back now? And they said, yes. And they have a lot of fortification outside just in case, but it was one person.